You, Johnny.
That's the story as I tell it. Jeff Francoeur.
Our man Jeff Francoeur joins us. Jeff, what's going on, man? Good morning.
Well, I think y'all sent the rain down here, guys, because I am sitting on my back porch in Atlanta, and it's supposed to rain all day.
So you won't be getting out today?
No, there's no golf today.
No golf at all. He's got a nice track.
No golf.
Oh, that's
kills me.
That's got to be devastating.
I guess I'll have to watch a little doubleheader today.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch a little doubleheader. Tell me something. When you watched the Braves and the Phillies the other night, and as you've observed both teams this year, when you've gotten a chance to see them, what do you see, and what do you see that's different from last year with both clubs?
You know, with the Phillies, I don't know that they're so much different than last year. I will say, I think guys are Schwarber dropping the strikeout rate. You know, Harper even 4 to 5%. I don't know. You're just putting more pressure on the other team to make plays. I don't think that's ever talked about enough. And you know, and I will tell you this: Luzardo has been a massive add to that rotation. He is so good, man, and when you look at sliding him behind Wheeler, and look, I think Nola's going to figure it out. He's too good. He's done it too long. So I think with them having those pieces, it's actually given Nola a chance to kind of get a break and hit a reset button.
Jeff, we have 2 games today, as we know, and you have 2 pretty good pitchers. You mentioned Luzardo, but Christopher Sanchez from the left side has been good for the Phillies this season. And Zach Wheeler's just been great for a long time now. Did you ever see Zach Wheeler becoming one of the top pitchers in baseball maybe 5-6 years ago when he first joined the Phillies?
You know, I don't think so, and this is why. Because I think we all wondered, could he stay healthy, right? Could he keep throwing 30 starts every year? And I also think he had a good fastball, and since he's been in Philly, it's become elite. It's got so much ride to it. You know, his extension point, we've done it in the playoffs a couple times now, where his extension point on that fastball is so good. So, you know, man, it was, I still think that sign is one of the greatest signs ever, especially in the last 20 years when you talk about what they paid him and what he gave him. What was it, 5 years, 110, wasn't it? I mean...
And then the extension he just signed is a value too.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. And what I think John, I've told you this on and off the record. I think he's the best pitcher in baseball. If there's one game, I want him on the mound. Anybody else in baseball, and I know there's a lot of great pitchers, but I want Zach Wheeler on the mound.
It's amazing to watch what you had just, when I met you in the elevator the other day, you had just left Rob Thompson's office having a chance to chat with Rob. Tell America and tell us what we don't know about Rob Thompson, because he does seem a little sleepy at times. He seems a little low-key at times. But you see a different thing when you get to talk strategy with him and get to understand a little bit what the guy's about.
You know what I see? I see a guy that has a great baseball team and is not trying to screw it up. Not trying to overthink things, not trying to overmanage and say, we need to move this guy here, we need to do this. You know, it's when you have those great players, you simplify. You get, you know, as they say, you get the hell out of the way, right? And let these players go play. And I think, you know, you do a few things here and there. I think moving Schwarber behind Harper was a brilliant move because Harper was lacking protection. And I think that was a great move. But, you know, people I read stuff. People love to get on them, too, sometimes about bullpen stuff. And I'm like, that's not fair to me, because it's like, who you throwing out there? And we talked about this the other day on air. I mean, if there's one area where I believe Dave Dombrowski will load up, or at least go make some big moves at the deadline, it's going to be the bullpen. You can't have that rotation, that offense, and just go in with what you got in the bullpen. I don't think they will. I don't think it's fair to the rest of the team. So I always look at it too. I'm like, people, why did they bring him in? Well, I'm like, well, who else do you want to bring in? And you can't bring in the same guy every single night or you're going to blow him out. And so, and I don't think you need a whole lot, one or two guys, because of the length of, what you get from the Phillies. You get 6 2/3 every start from your starting pitcher. So I think one or two piece. But, look, I think Rob Thompson's a good baseball man. People might say, well, he doesn't do this enough or doesn't do that. But, again, what I like is just get out of the way. And I think he does a better job with that than most people would.
Jeff Francoeur joins us on the Comcast Business Hotline. You were here for Game 1 of this series, and so you saw the scary moment in the second inning when Bryce Harper gets hit right near the surgically repaired elbow. He has to exit the game. And the big talking point the next day was about the lack of retaliation from the Phillies staff. So I'm curious, Frenchie, your thoughts on retaliation baseball. You played in the league for a long time, so you know how the players police the game themselves. And are you expecting something by the end of today as a sort of response from the Phillies?
Nobody does it anymore, right? Like, that's the deal. I saw some stuff where Ruben said on the post game, like, he's not wrong. Like, you hit one of ours, even if it's not on purpose, we hit one of yours. But nobody does it anymore. So it's like, it's kind of a moot point. And I'm not trying to say it's better, worse, or whatever, but guys just don't do it. Look, I think we can all agree Spencer Strider was not trying to hit Bryce Harper on purpose.
He was trying to pitch him. He was trying to pitch him aggressively inside, though, right?
You have to. And I'll just say this: everybody wants to make such a big deal about it, and whether you want to or not. How many times did Chase Utley get hit every week?
Yeah,
game after game after game. He's up on the dish. I got hit 60. They looked at it. I got hit 60 times. I was way up on the dish. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but, you are going to get hit. I mean, it's like a late hit in football sometimes on a QB. Like, you are going to get hit sometimes. I'm super glad that it wasn't anything worse, and I was hoping it was just a dead-arm contusion. Because, and actually, if you saw, Spencer Strider said that. The last thing I want is him not in the game. I mean, he's great for the game. He's fun for the rivalry. But, you can look at it a couple different ways, right? You ask me what's wrong with this Braves team. I don't see a spark. I don't see the fire. And y'all know as well as I do. Sometimes it's like, do you want to wake a sleeping dog? And I'm not saying it would. It might not mean anything. But if you go out there and you hit Acuna in the ribs at 98, you never know. I mean, the Braves have the talent. We sit there and see it. They got the lineup. They got the talent. So, I don't know. I have no issue either way. I used to tell people that all the time. You remember when I was in Philly at Double Herrera, right? And sure. I had the Double would flip his bat all the time. And I just used to be telling him, be prepared, you're going to get hit in the ribs. If you don't care, that's okay. And, and to Duble's defense, he never really cared. He'd get hit and he'd just run to first and still do it. But, like I said, and who is it? Who are you trying to hit? What point of the game? You do it early. Those are all things that actually used to be in consideration. I don't think players think about that anymore.
If I was to tell you it's Labor Day, do you think it's a 3-team race in the National League East from what you see today?
Man, I don't. No, I don't. I think it's going to be between us. I think it's going to be more of. I think Philly's going to win the division, and I think Atlanta and the Mets. I think the Mets will stay in it for a while. I really do. I think the Mets and Braves are going to be chasing the wild card if they get in. I really do. Again, the starting pitching is so strong for the Phillies. It really is. You're never going to have prolonged losing streaks because you're sending a great pitcher out there every day. And that offense is going to score you 4 or 5 runs sometimes. And then when they don't, like the other night, look, whether you won 2-0, right? Your offense wasn't, you faced Strider, who even though he was wild, was pretty good, and the other guys in the bullpen did a good job, but you won 2-0. So I actually think it's going to come down late in the season to the 1, 2, 3 seeds. The Cubs offense is really, really good. And, the Dodgers are playing in a tough division, man. They're going to have some tough games. So it's going to be fun. The NL is going to be, it's going to be some juggernaut teams in the playoffs this year. And I'll tell you what, I'm glad I get to do it. And you know me, John, I got cricket club lined up already October.
It must be nice.
I do hope that you enjoyed seeing my Eagles win another Super Bowl, because I know how much you enjoyed seeing. I know how much you enjoyed seeing them win the first one. So I hope you enjoyed seeing them win a second one.
I don't mind. I don't mind them winning at all. I want the Falcons to become relevant again. That's all I want. Just be relevant. Knock on the door.
Good luck with that.
We're going to let you have that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Real quick, Jeff, I'm curious. You mentioned the Mets because obviously we were talking about the NL East there. What do you make of Juan Soto and his struggles, let's say, because we know how talented of a baseball player he is, in year one of the massive contract with the Mets?
Go back to 2019. Remember Bryce Harper in Philly? Struggled mightily. Remember Francisco Lindor, first year in New York? Struggled mightily. Living up to the contract is to me, a lot tougher than going for the contract. And when Juan Soto was in New York with the Yankees, let's be honest, Aaron Judge was Batman and he was Robin, no matter what. And now he got there, and I think they're expecting him to be Batman, and I think he wants to be Robin. And unfortunately, you're making $765 million. You're going to be put on as a pedestal for Batman. So I know this. That's where you talk about players policing themselves. I've seen it lately. He's been running in the games. I think Lindor, I think some of those guys, hey, man, clean that up. Let's go. Run the bases hard. No matter what you hit, no matter what you do, run the bases hard. But I also think, look, this guy's going to hit. He's hit since 2019, and he's been really good. So, and that's the other reason I think the Mets stay in this race is because you look at their record, what they've done, and they've really done it without Juan Soto being Juan Soto. So if he does get hot a little bit, which we think he will, he can get going. But it's a lot of expectations, man. We've never seen a player make that kind of money outside of Ohtani, and Ohtani's just a freak.
Check out
talent. I put him in his own category.
Check out the Pure Athlete podcast. Jeff does a great job with it. And for fathers like you, Andrew, who are approaching it, he will teach you how to not be that dad.
I promise I won't be.
So you will because Jeff, how many sports did you play in high school?
I played 3.
And how many sports did you have an opportunity to play in college if you had wanted to go to college?
2.
Yeah, exactly.
2.
So, kids, you don't have to specialize in everything when you're in 8th grade. You don't have to.
Nope.
There you go.
Nope. Enjoy it and have fun. Learn work ethic. Learn to be a great teammate, right?
Yep.
That's what we talk about all the time. That's one thing that you talk about Rob Thompson, you walk in that office, he says, I don't have to worry about these guys not being good teammates to each other. And there's a reason that the Phillies have the best record in baseball right now.
All right, tell your family I said hello. Thanks, Jeff.
I will, guys. Be well.
Take care,
There
buddy.
he is, Jeff Francoeur on the Comcast Business Hall. He's great.
He's a great
Always.
guy. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for checking out the 97.5 The Fanatic YouTube channel. Thanks for watching our videos. We'd ask you to like and subscribe and check out everything we've got going on at the station. We love having you a part of the family.